What is going down, everybody? And welcome back once again to a very special Am I Still on the Air? It is the first one of 2025, and we are happy to be back with you guys. DONMEGA here, Frigginz, and Peeps. What is up, y'all?
Hey,
What is
hey.
up, everybody? Thank you, DX, for having us on. What's that?
It feels like
Right.
it's been so long since I've seen your faces.
I know it's been a minute.
It's
You
been a
guys are
hot minute.
in the
I think,
popcorn buckets. I'm sitting down here in the tickets, so
I know we should
well,
trade
yeah,
places. You know how much I
I'm
dislike
okay.
popcorn.
No, you're good. I like popcorn.
just
But
like,
some of these things you're
God,
gonna
you
say, I'm
never
good with
fail
that.
to Lordy. Well, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I feel it has been a hot minute. I think it was July, if I'm not mistaken, when we did Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler review, was the last time that we kind of got together as a clique. But this one here is the annual tradition, and we had to do it, man. Every January, we get the team together, we assemble, and we come to bring you our top 10 movies of the previous year and our top 10 most anticipated of this new year that we're going into. Man, it's very exciting as we kind of wrap up and we say goodbye to 2024, talking through our top films of the year. And then as we look forward, it is January 2025, our top 10 films that we are most looking forward to in 2025 as well. So this is an awesome jam-packed episode, man, as always it is. So once again, I am DX Don Mega from Am I on the Air? You can always follow the handles right there down at the bottom. Got Frigginz over here. He's been doing his friggin' movie reviews over on the Instagram. And then, of course, we got Peeps down here for my peoples doing his thing, the People's Forum as well. So the crew is back. We are ready to go and very happy to be back. Very happy to see you guys. And, this is an episode that we wait for every January. It's one of my favorite episodes to get into and kind of see where things have landed because we know we're going to get a lot of get the fuck out of here's and all kinds of that good stuff, especially on Fred's side, because every year he morphs more and more into a film snob. And
I'm telling you
so
right now, it's even worse this year. It's just going
oh, I
downhill.
know. I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw that cat review, and I was like, "Oh, we're screwed,
Yeah.
man. We are screwed." So I'm ready to see, because we always got Friggins doing his thing. We always got Peeps. He's only seen kid movies all year, and but I think he branched out. I think he saw some extra stuff this year. I was very happy to see that he saw The Substance and he saw some other good things this year. So Anora, things like that. So very, very happy to see Peep step his game up this year. So we'll see what he's got in store, and of course, I'll bring the blockbusters. So it's a good trifecta is what we do, and we bring it all together for you guys. All the handles are there at the bottom scrolling. If you need to follow along, do your thing. But we're happy to see you guys once again. So we're going to get right on into it. Let's not waste any time. We're going back to the last year, 2024. It was an interesting year, man. When I was looking back through my list, I was kind of like, there wasn't a lot of bangers. There was not a lot of bangers. I had
Same.
one five-star movie all year, and we'll
Wow.
get to
One?
that later when we get
Seriously?
to number one. So
Wow.
seriously,
No,
man, there was only one, and that's saying a lot, man. I was going back through and I was like, damn, man, I was being a little bit more strict, and I was like, man, it was just maybe an off year. That there was just no other movies that hit that quality for me. There was always something that kind of held some things back, but there was a handful of good movies. There was enjoyable movies, but man, not a year that really wowed me. I'll say that for sure. And definitely there was a handful that looking back on our most anticipated for last year that didn't make the list again
Yeah.
when we're looking at the top 10. I was like, damn,
Same.
there's a lot of
Rest in
movies, man.
peace, Argyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Argyle was in there for me. I had the Crow reboot, and that is a spoiler alert, not in my top 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Just sad things, man. Sad things, or you're so sure about a movie, and then you get there and you're like, womp womp womp. Unfortunately. So that is a bummer right there. But as always, we're going to start things off with honorable mentions. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on this, but these are just some movies that we saw, we really enjoyed, didn't quite make the top, but we wanted to kind of shout them out. And this is in no particular order. I don't rank honorable mentions, or just as I'm kind of going through my list, I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to shout that out and shout this out. And that's kind of where we jump in. So, real quickly, I'm going to throw some movies out. Things like Rebel Ridge. I really enjoyed Rebel Ridge over on Netflix. This one definitely gets a shout out. That really
Super
wowed
good.
me. Boy Kills World. A really fun movie, man, that just nobody saw last year. And
Yeah.
it was awesome. Crazy action, really fun stuff. And wanted to shout that one out. The Ministry of Ungently Warfare. awesome movie right there too. Henry Cavill and a whole bunch of people coming in, doing their thing. Awesome time. A movie that I'm shocked to say is on this list, but I was actually pretty impressed with was Wicked. Man, I was like, dude, when my wife dragged me to this movie, I was like, there ain't no way I'm gonna want to see this thing. Damn, that was actually pretty damn good. So I got to shout out Wicked right there. The Roadhouse remake. I really
Oh
enjoyed that
yeah,
this thing. It was a fun ass action movie over on
it
Prime.
was.
Jake Gyllenhaal. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Transformers 1. I'm not an animated guy. I usually stay away from these, but I got to
Yeah.
check out Transformers 1. It was a ton of fun. Great heart. Funny ass movie. I loved it. Hitman with Glenn Powell over on Netflix as
Yes.
well. Another great, great fun time over on streaming. So check that one out. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I just love this series. So it was cool to see it come back. I wish it had been a little bit stronger to actually make that top 10, but definitely worth a shout out. The Beekeeper. Was shocked by how much fun I had with this movie here. Jason Statham kicking some ass, directed by David Ayer. Had a lot of fun with The Beekeeper. And lastly, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, man, just another big popcorn flick. Seeing these two guys bash it out, and it's always a fun time. So just some quick shout out honorable mentions there. Frigginz, gonna pass it to you. What you got on the docket for honorable mentions?
I also had Transformers 1. I do like animated films, and that was a big surprise. When they announced it, I didn't want to see it at all. But it won me over. Another streaming movie,
That's the
I
drum.
think, yeah, yeah. There another streaming movie that was I think unlimited for movies was The Order. Very good story, very great acting from Jude Law. I'm an Aliens guy. We all know this. Alien Resurrection. Romulus, excuse me, Alien Romulus did not make my top 10, but was on there for honorable mentions. DX, you and I got to go see a night before streaming release at the theater of The Idea of You. I'm a sucker for rom-coms, so that definitely was up on my list for a long time.
I agree. Almost made my honorable mentions. I gotta tell you, I was shocked by how much that was a good movie.
Oh, we had such a blast on that one. I agree with you on Hitman. That was a really surprise movie that just made me kept me guessing the whole. It's like all these twists and turns I wouldn't expect it. Very good. Had Rebel Ridge as well, just like you did. One that was in my top 10 that I thought would be in this top 10 was Fall Guy. Loved the movie. It was a blast. Just a few other movies beat it out. Craven the Hunter, not like the best movie ever, but I had a blast with it. Definitely want to throw that in honorable mentions. Everyone's talking shit about it, but I liked it. But the biggest honorable mention for me this year really goes a huge shout out to scary movies, thrillers, horror movies. That's a genre I don't really like, but there was just a ton of really good thrillers and horrors that I ended up really enjoying, like Strange Darlings, Cuckoo, Smile 2, Maxine, Abigail. I mean, this was the year that it turned me into a fan of horror. And
very
I'll
strong,
close it out with
very
that.
strong year for horror. I agree with you. Peeps, what you got? Any honorable mentions hit the top of your brain?
I mean, you guys hit a lot of them. I'll definitely throw Wicked on there. Honorable mention, like DX said, I'm definitely a family movie guy, taking my kids out and having a good time. So The Wild Robot was definitely a good time, as well. Transformers 1 was pretty fun. Like you said in the beginning, though, DX. I mean, this year for me, you guys see 300 movies a year. I'll see like 50 movies. So, um, in terms of like honorable mentions, I don't really have like too many, to be honest. It was a kind of a dud movie or year for me. Like even things like, I mean, I will say like Kong and Godzilla, didn't make the top 10. And I think at the end of the day, I was like I got my money's worth. Um, yeah, and let's see. Even Ghostbusters, right? Like it wasn't the best movie. It wasn't the worst movie of the year for sure. And when I left, it was just very mediocre and yeah, it was fine. But yeah, I don't really have much else to add in the world of honorable mentions because I don't. There's some really big hits for me and a lot of duds this year. So
It's
Yeah.
2024, man, the year of the mediocre. I'll definitely agree with you on that, right?
I
Year of the
totally
meh.
disagree with you
So
guys. I thought there was phenomenal films this year. It was a wonderful film season for me. I saw 101 movies
Ooh.
this year, which is low on my standards. I was trying to beat last year's record. I did not. Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic year for film.
All right. Well, let's get on into it. So we switch from honorable mentions over to our top 10 of 2024.
Can't wait
So
to hear
what we're gonna do
Fred's
here.
morning of the spawn deer. It's so beautiful.
Cinematography, man, is gonna get him every time. Um, so we're gonna break this countdown into kind of two segments. We're gonna roll down 10 through 6 and kind of go around the room and then break down our top 5 there as we kind of go through. So very excited to get into it and break it on down, man. It's gonna be interesting because I know some of the movies Friggins was throwing out. I got in my top 10, and then we're always curious to see where things land. It's funny with the Wild Robot Peeps. He brings that one up. Like my daughter had no interest in that movie and then went and saw it and hated it, hated it beyond passion. And because we were talking about top 10 movies today, and my wife brought it up, and she was like, "Hell no, that is not on my list." It was just so
That's
funny
fair.
because I've never seen her
That's
so
fair.
passionate about being against an animated film. But
Yeah. It's
so
pretty
yeah,
disappointing.
know,
Yeah.
it's an interesting one. So let's jump on into it, man. I'm going to start off here with 10 through 6. Coming in number 10 for me is Speak No Evil. This was a movie that came out a couple months back with James McAvoy, and just creepy ass movie. Intense. James McAvoy brings the crazy unlike anybody you've ever seen. If you've seen movies like Split and Glass, like what this dude can really bring to a movie. And Speak No Evil is one of these films that just he came in and just tore the house down. I mean, he's so charming and nice in the beginning of the film, and when he goes cuckoo in this film, he goes crazy, he goes full on hardcore, and it was a fun thriller. Had me on the edge of my seat, even though it's a slower pace in the beginning. It's just the build up as you kind of get into the story and you kind of see the cracks and you start to learn what the bigger overarching story is. And it stood out to me, man. It's one of these movies that when I think back on the year, it stands out in the back of my mind. So that's at my number 10 is Speak No Evil right there. Going into number 9, Friggins mentioned it in his honorable mentions. I'm going to say it's Alien Romulus. I loved Alien Romulus. The last several Alien movies, I've been like, nah, they've just been disappointing. They haven't really done their thing. But then we get Fede Alvarez comes in, directs this thing, and it's just got the old school feel to it. And we got all the creatures back, and it's just a throwback to an like old school kind of aliens movie. And he killed it, man. I just thought it was just awesome from start to finish. My heart was racing. I was having a good time. I was on the edge of my seat, and it was just that pure popcorn, just horror action flick that I was hoping it would be. And
Yeah.
I'm just so glad that it resonated so well as it did. So Alien Romulus comes in number 9. Another movie that Frickens mentioned on his honorable mentions that really stood out for me that I loved this year and was pleasantly surprised was Smile 2.
Heck yeah.
I loved Smile 2 so much, man. Like, and I was a fan of that original film. I was looking forward to this one and just thought, okay, it's going to be good. Smile 1 was a good horror movie, but I haven't even really gone back and revisited it. Stop it, peeps. But
So I gotta get some water. Sorry.
yes, exactly. You better chug that water every time you start talking shit. But I went in everything, the pacing and the thrills and the scares and the twists and the turns and what's real and what's not. And the acting was so good, and just she was so on point, man. Naomi Scott, just props to her and just what she brought to this role. She was incredible, and this movie was just such a fantastic sequel that really outdid that original film, and it stood with me since I watched it. So went in with very kind of tempered expectations and walked out going, damn, that was an excellent movie. So Smile 2 coming in number 8. Coming in number 7 for me is Twisters. This is another big movie over the summer, where, kind of sequel to that old school movie back in the 90s, but doing its own thing, really no connections. Just another movie about these young kind of storm chasers and trying to, If you can feel it, chase it. Let's go do it.
Yeah.
Let's go do our thing. And you know, you got Glenn Powell in this one as well. It's just high octane, super fun. The graphics were amazing. It was just a thrill ride, man, from start to finish. So I had to throw some love to Twisters at number 7. And number 6, if you're looking right under Fred there on his cup, it's A Quiet Place Day One, man. I love this movie. This is another one that just what the Quiet Place movies do so well is the intensity. It's like I feel my heart pounding in my chest when I watch these movies. You want to be quiet. You never know what's going to happen. Things jump out of nowhere, and you just never know what's going to go down. And having this movie take place in New York in a city that is just so loud and has so many things going on for it. It was such a unique kind of twist on the premise. If you're going to do this origin story, the day that they landed, and just kind of see it go. Lupita Nyong'o was awesome, and it just had me on the edge of my seat. It was heart pulsing from start to finish, man, and it really stands out when I look back at the year. So A Quiet Place Day One comes in at number 6 for me. So that is my 10 through 6. I'm gonna pass it on over to Frigginz. What you got, man?
Well, I did just want to make a couple comments on yours. I agree with on pretty much everything you said about all the movies you watched. And I just wanted to really echo what you said regarding Smile 2. I know Peeps was over there gagging a bit, but I thought it was phenomenal. You know, the more I think about it, the more I got out of it. And it was, it actually gave me jump scares in the theater. So I really appreciated that. And so I didn't feel the same way as you about The Quiet Place. I mean, it was good, but I just wanted to mention that. Oh, and the Speak No Evil. I mean, everything you said about McAvoy was right on point. I mean, that dude, he does this weird trick in the middle of the movie where you almost like, you're like, you know what? Yeah, maybe he's right. Like, he's not a bad guy. Like if the trailer's tricking me, like, you know, like, and then yeah. So that was good.
Let me go straight. Let me in the fucking house.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to make a few comments on those. All right. So for my 10 through 6, my number 10 is one of yours that you mentioned was Twisters. I found it to be exciting, just fun, a good time. You know, I didn't have a very high expectations for it, and I was just really pleasantly surprised of like having a smile on my face through the thing. It's not, you know, winning any awards. It's not breaking any new ground, but something about Glenn Powell is just awesome. He's really fun to watch on the screen. Yeah. Great charisma. The whole cast in that film, I really like. And the surprise Superman in the background playing kind of a douchebag role. That was interesting. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun time. My number 9, and I'm actually torn on this one. I kind of want to move it a little higher, but it's Flow. You mentioned with the cat.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go.
I had no idea about this movie. I'm telling you, like,
I didn't either.
I saw it like on a list for theaters, and I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this movie. And then I saw that it won the Golden Globes. I checked out the trailer, and I'm like, I don't know why this looks kind of interesting. Checked it out. It has no dialogue, and you follow a cat and a couple other animals that he befriends along the way in this really interesting story. I don't really want to give anything away. I mean, if you watch the trailer, you kind of get a sense of what's going to happen. But honestly, it's just heartwarming. It made me feel good watching it. I felt like some stress at times of like the situation that these characters were getting into, and would probably have been a 5-star movie for me and up higher on my ranking if there was a few things that were done towards the end of the film that I was a little confused about. And I think if those weren't there, I might have ranked it.
Probably blood in action, I'm sure.
Body horror. It turns into some monster and you know, all kinds of crazy stuff.
The cat didn't die.
Fast and Furious, buddy.
Well, speaking of blood in action, if you're looking for that for my number 7, you don't get very much of that either. Civil War was my number 7. Actually, that's 8. Sorry. My number 8, Civil War. Well, if you go in this movie thinking you're going to watch a war movie and get a story of why this war is happening and get conclusions of what's going to happen, you're not going to like it. This is a film about journalism. And so I would say go in with that mindset. And if you're like just getting this, I love a lot of times sometimes my favorite films is movies that involve a moment in time of just following characters through a day, like one night, maybe a short period of time. And it just was really cool to see these characters and just following along as they go about their business. So very underwhelming, I think, for a lot of people, but I enjoyed it a lot because I knew it was about journalism, not about war.
But how was the cinematography?
That was phenomenal. I mean, literally, there's just scenes in there
It
that
did look good.
You could post
But
it
the
up
rest
on
of
a
it,
picture or something, you know. So my number 7 is Bike Riders.
Oh God,
dude, I love this like old school,
holy
like
shit!
get on an old
Movie sucked.
like the old bike and just cruise with the wind in your hair.
Woo.
Austin Butler is awesome. That dude is super cool. Tom Hardy finally playing an interesting character instead of,
Well, yeah, he was so interesting. He was so interesting, Fred. Let's go ride some bikes, guys. Come on, man. We're going to burn it down. We're going to burn it down, guys. Come on. We're so intimidating on our bicycles.
He does do
He's
some
so
weird
stupid.
voices. Never understand
Yes, it was
what his
dumb as
voices
fuck.
are.
And then
Movie's
Austin Butler's just
phenomenal.
like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Oh, I don't know. Let's just go ride some bikes, man.
He's totally wrong. This movie takes you back into time, makes you feel like you're on a bike with wind in your hair. And what's interesting is a little bit of a historical perspective of how biker gangs started. And it wasn't the murdery, drug dealing biker gang that you think of. That's not how it started. And it was really interesting to see how, this biker club turned into a biker gang. So I found this movie phenomenal.
Biker gang meet up and he drives there in a car. So
exactly. And it was like a big that's to illustrate that we're not diving into details here, but
put it down. Put it down. Let's put it down.
And my number 6, I don't think is a movie either of you probably ever heard of. It's called Ghostlight. And this movie came up. I saw a trailer for it and I was like, okay, I'll watch that. There's an entire subplot that is not mentioned at all in the trailer. And when that subplot was kind of like creeping into the film, I kind of was going, wait, what happened here? What's this about? And then it had me in tears, like watching this movie. It touched on some personal notes for me. It had, wonderful acting. And again, if you watch the trailer, it's not even really telling you like the bulk of what's really going on in the film. They definitely do a great job of keeping some major point details not shown in the trailer, which impact and emphasize the film itself. Ghostlight's great film. Just have a lot of handkerchiefs nearby because you're going to cry your eyes out. And that's my 10 through 6.
Peeps, let's bring the excitement back up.
I don't know if I'm going to do that. I think this is going to be an interesting episode. Let me tell you. Unfortunately, I haven't seen Twisters. Was on my list. I said, hey, Frigginz, should I watch it? And be like, maybe. Watch this other movie instead. Well, don't want to go there, but yeah. So, interesting. Ghostlight, huh?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was. Okay.
That's what I said. You guys probably didn't even hear about this movie. It's a fantastic film.
Limited release.
Yes.
Only in Fred's house.
Exactly.
All right.
His neighbor made it.
It's on Amazon Prime.
All right. So my list generally is composed of movies that obviously I enjoyed. And part of the things that I enjoy when I go to the theaters is just kind of receiving the energy that my kids give me. Like if my kids are having a good time and I'm having a good time, just that chef's kiss. It's just that extra seasoning that just makes the whole experience more memorable for me and just overall a good time. But a movie I did not watch with my kids was my number 10, and that is Late Night with the Devil. This movie, for me, was a lot of fun, and I found myself like watching this and kind of forgetting that I'm actually watching like a horror movie. Like it felt like I was actually watching this documentary until things were happening, and then it just kind of okay, it just kind of threw me back into the reality that I was actually watching a movie. Unfortunately, the ending kind of falls a little bit flat for me, which is why it's not higher on my list. But I think like all the way up until the very end of the movie, I was having a blast, and I just couldn't. Oh, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? And guessing and a lot of freaky scenes, I think as well. But yeah, that is my number 10.
Interesting.
My number
I
my
did not
number
care for that
9.
one.
Yeah, yeah. My number 9 is a movie that my family and I really enjoyed, and that was the biopic, the Pharrell biopic, Piece by Piece. Um,
Oh, gotcha.
I am a huge Pharrell fan. I've been listening, jamming out to his music since I was in freaking middle school, and um, when bringing my kids into that song into the theater and just kind of experiencing all the music with them, like my son became a huge fan and he loves that movie. He watches it like all the time now. He listens to Pharrell's music now, and just like I thought it was just a really fun way to tell a biopic story. Like I don't really, Ray or whatever else kind of movies out, the Elvis story, like I don't know, like those never really interest me, but this one actually like had me engaged, and I'm sure it's the Lego, so ADHD helps out a lot with that. But yeah, had a lot of fun with Piece by Piece. And yeah, the music, yeah, it was pretty dope. That's my number 9. Number 8, surprised this wasn't on your guys' list so far. Makes me think it's probably higher up on your list. But my number 8 is Furiosa.
Oh yeah.
A movie that unfortunately didn't perform that well in theaters. But man, like this movie, like I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it maintained that same kind of energy. I really liked seeing how her story plays out. Um, it's kind of funny sometimes seeing like a little kid version of Anya Taylor-Joy. She's like, "Oh, I'm just 11," but then I don't know. It was fun, but just it had that ridiculous action, the grittiness of a Mad Max kind of film, and really fun. And then a very ambiguous ending. I think that just kind of adds to the overall fun that I had with the movie. And what I like to think about in terms of movies and my enjoyment is like, did the movie accomplish what it meant to, and did I like it? And yes, this movie hits all those areas for me. So Furiosa, a Mad Max tale. I don't
Long title.
know.
World of Mad Max.
My number 7 was, I think, on Friggin's honorable mentions is Fall Guy. Movie I saw, much later than when it was released. But holy crap, this movie probably should be higher on my list. But the other movies kind of trump it. But dude, this movie was so, like, again, I was talking about Furiosa fun. This movie is literal fun. Like I just found myself just grinning at the hilariousness that this movie is giving me. And then like Friggins, I'm a sucker for a good love story. And the Ryan Gosling, like the king of of rom-coms or just romantic stories. And oh
He's
my
just
gosh,
awesome, period.
what was the actress name? What's his name's
Emily
wife?
Blunt?
John Krasinski,
Emily
Emily
Blunt.
Blunt. Like the two of them, like I love the chemistry between those two. It was so believable.
Yeah.
It was so fun. And just Aaron Taylor Johnson, just over the top actor,
He was
and
great.
he was so. I love to hate that guy. He was really good, and the movie actually made me like kind of appreciate this thing that I've actually appreciated for a long time, but like stuntmen, and even just the effort that goes into like a big action scene in movies. Like we sit back and you're like, oh, that was a good scene, but like it probably took them months of like preparation and then like trying to get that perfect shot. And oh man, like, and even when they mentioned in the movie, like, oh, is there an Oscar category for that? He's like, no, it's not. And it's like it should be, right? I don't know. Like that's
Yeah.
part of making a movie.
Absolutely.
You want to do sound, you want to do music, you want to do acting. Like, why not the actual stunts that make us love these movies? So I don't know. But yeah, definitely Fall Guy is my number 7. And my number 6. Yeah, number 6. Don's gonna get the fuck out of here when he hears like what's above number 6. But
Oh god.
my number 6 is Dune 2.
Okay.
I don't think those of you that have seen this movie, there's really not a lot I can say that you don't already know, but like watching this movie, it's like you just feel that, like you just see greatness. It's like, okay, this movie is definitely going to, I think, have like longevity, and I think people are going to be appreciating this film for a long time. And it's funny because I actually I tried watching the first Dune 7 times before watching these two. And then it wasn't until after I finished this one that I watched the first Dune. I'm like, why would anybody say they like Dune to even try to watch these movies after watching the first Dune, the original Dune from the 80s is so bad. It's I digress. But Dune 2 was just it just gave me that big epic scope, the Star Wars, the like the classic Avengers movies. It just felt big, and I'm like, "Hi-ya!" like just kind of hollering and screaming with the music. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. It's a great good airplane movie. Yeah, so that's how I watched it. Yeah, and that's my 10 through 6.
All right. All right. We'll circle back around. We'll go, we'll actually go 5 through 2 because I think we might have some uniformity on number 1 here. So we'll save 1 for the end here. But we'll see. We'll
Don't
see.
be mad at me,
We'll
Don.
circle back.
Oh no! That's just
Are you
gonna
gonna fuck
ruin
up the
it
whole
for
flow?
us.
He's gonna
Oh
fuck up the whole
no!
flow, isn't he? God damn it. Jesus. All right. Coming in number 5, and I know Frigginz has this way up higher on his list, is The Substance. So we got The
Trash.
Substance coming in number
Trash.
5 with Demi Moore, man. Oh, dude, this movie, like, I did not get a chance to see this movie in the theater. I wanted to so bad, and nobody that
Yo,
I knew, because these guys didn't talk to me about it, and then everyone else I knew was like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And nobody would fucking go
Don.
with me. So I did not get to see it in the theater. And then when it hit stream,
Oh,
I had to sign up for a fucking free trial to Mubi so I could watch this fucking thing, and it was awesome, man. I was floored. Like, when I watch movies at home, it's very hard to put the phone down and pay attention. Like, I'm always doing 5 million different things, and I never give a movie at home 100% attention. 5 minutes into The Substance, and I was like, "Let me put this away here real quick and let me
Oh my god!
because this has got my attention, and I am in the way it was filmed, the way it was shot, just everything, man. It just had me hooked, and,
Yes.
dude, Margot Qualley, Demi Moore, the 2 of them going back and forth in this, like, crazy body horror. It just had everything going for it, man. I will say it goes a little off the rails at the
A
end. That
little.
last 20 minutes or so is a little cray-cray, and that's what holds it back for me from being a 5-star movie, because I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" in those last, like, 20 or so minutes. But up to that point, that movie was just incredible, and definitely sits with you. And I was shout out to Demi Moore getting the Golden Globe for this one. She just got nominated for an Oscar for this movie, and the movie's even nominated as well. Fred, nominated Best Film of the Year.
Yep.
So you could hate
Worst
all
of the
you
10.
want, but we getting the substance up in this bitch. Such a great movie. It stands out. It's
agree,
incredible. It's unique,
agree.
and it comes in at number 5.
This is me watching it the
Coming
whole time.
I
Just
don't know how
arms
you can, man.
crossed, just angry.
Dude, Margaret Qualley alone had me like, so I don't know how you're gonna be saying that, dude. Crazy.
Yep.
So coming in number 4, I got Bad Boys Ride or Die, man. I
forgot that
love
was
the
this
Bad
year.
Boys franchise. See, I love the Bad Boys movies. We are back for the fourth movie that should have been Bad Boys for Life, but they stole that and used it on the third movie and
Yeah.
fucked up. And they realized that. I saw Will Smith be like, "We fucked up, y'all. We made the wrong freaking movie, Bad Boys for Life. We should have switched that title." But Ride or Die is back. This one here, man. Shout out to Martin Lawrence, who really steals the show in this movie. He is so good in this one. And really, really takes it to another level. Awesome action. It's hilarious. This franchise just kills it. Every single movie in this franchise is incredible. And this was another great addition, man. I hope that we get to see another down the road. So Bad Boys Ride or Die, number 4. Number 3, Peep said he thought he was gonna get the fuck out of here from me for this. I got Dune 2, baby, at
There
number
it is.
3. So I got it higher than you, thinking that I was gonna talk shit. But and I'll tell you, man, Dune 1, that is a huge get the fuck out of here because that movie sucks. That
It's
movie is
better than
horrible.
2.
I hate it. Is not. Dune
Better
1
than 2.
is bullshit. It is
Better
so
than
fucking.
2.
Oh, hold on.
It is
Let me do
bad.
Dune 1.
No.
Okay, that was Dune 1. I've tried to watch it multiple times, and every time it results in. So Dune 1 just so bad, man. But Dune 2, I went in, I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. Let's just see how it goes. And I was floored, man. The movie is fantastic. It is everything one should have been. The pacing is better, the action is better, the story is better, everything is better in Dune 2, man. So now I am stoked for Dune 3. I am on board. I thought everybody did an amazing job in 2, man. They definitely redeemed me. This was a franchise I gave 0 fucks about and really won me over. So big props to Dune 2 coming in at number 3. Coming in number 2, I'm sad that y'all had it so much lower on y'all's list, but thanks for Peeps. At least having it in his top 10 is Fall Guy. I loved Fall Guy. Like, I saw this movie 3 times in the theater. I had such a fun time with this one, man. Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, everything you guys said. It's action packed. It's hilarious. It's just the way it's filmed is great. I love the direction. I love the style. I love the music. This movie is popcorn summer blockbuster personification, and I loved it, man. Another movie that really underperformed this summer, and I don't understand why, because everybody I know that watched it really liked it. So it's just crazy to me. But man, I had a blast with this one. So going down to number 2, this was an easy thought when I was putting this list together, where this one was going to fall for me. So that is Fall Guys. So I'll pause at number 1, and I will shift over to Frigginz. Let's do 5 through 2.
All right. So all 4 of these movies, Don, you're gonna you might as well just check out now because you're gonna hate them all.
Oh, I know. I'm about to kick you.
But my number 5, Peeps will enjoy, because I only saw this because of Peeps. And of course, that's right when we lose him. Go perfect. Perfect timing there, buddy. You know, the show must go on. So
yes. We live, baby. We live.
Well, actually,
Facebook,
real quick,
YouTube, Twitter. Come on.
Yeah, let's start throwing out the shout outs there. Oh, there he is. I dragged that a little bit long enough to get him back.
You did.
Because Peeps would enjoy, then I lost it.
Yeah. Because Peeps is the one who forced me to watch this movie. I never would have watched it on my own. I don't. It was one of those experiences where it was a bunch of like a big group of friends, and that is Hundreds of Beavers. This movie is ridiculous. If you watch the trailer, you'll say, "What the hell?" But there is something about this film where Peeps told me before we watched it. He said, "This is the movie where I've never seen payoffs happen later in a film. Like stuff you see in the beginning truly pays off towards the middle or towards the end. You see development, you see this growth in this character, and it's one of the most bonker things you'll ever see, and it looks totally stupid. And honestly, if I hadn't seen it with a group of friends where we were laughing and talking about it, I don't know that I would have liked it as much as I did. But it is a wonderful film experience. It should not work at all, but for some reason it does. And I was crying to tears watching this film. I mean, belly laughed so hard I couldn't breathe. It was phenomenal. And number 5. My number 4 is A Complete Unknown. That's the Bob Dylan biopic with Timothée Chalamet from your Dune series. I went into this. I saw it. big screen, super loud. I think it was IMAX, and it was just so awesome to hear this music. I'm not a music fan, really. Like, I mean, I like music, but I'm not like a big music person. I couldn't even tell you a Bob Dylan song. So this was good for me because it was like kind of teaching me a little bit about this character. And it did some things a little bit different than most musical biopics in that you don't get stuck just seeing a story about how drug abuse and alcohol abuse ruined a person. It talks more about his character and like his weird personality. And it was just phenomenal. All the songs were used really well to kind of also emphasize some of the points. And I just had a blast with it. My number 3, I don't even know why I watched this, but I went in to an IMAX screening and watched The Brutalist. Obviously, that is that won a Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture. Adrian Brody coming in playing an amazing character, following this character's life story. The events that take place were exceptional. This is what you think of as an Oscar movie, though. So it's very character focused. Amazing cinematography, amazing sound. I have not. Like in a movie like this, I haven't really been impacted as deeply with the music than this one. And maybe that was because I was watching an IMAX where everything's like amped up, but the music really, really stood out. And obviously the acting is phenomenal. I won't be surprised if this wins Best Picture and he wins Best Actor as well. And my number 2 is lovely Anora, not The Substance. Anora is a phenomenal film. It is one of those ones you have to put some warnings because it is about a stripper prostitute type thing. So
don't watch it when you're at Denny's.
Don't watch it when you're at Denny's. So, make sure you're home alone. Maybe don't watch it with your mom. It's a little awkward. But it's a phenomenal story. Again, a character-driven story about a character, like mostly a particular point in time following this particular character. I went into the theater not knowing what to expect, and this movie was phenomenal. Apparently, it's pretty divisive. If you want to hear some arguments going back and forth, check out the People's Forum. We did a special Love It or Hate It episode where this was one movie that was discussed, and we don't necessarily agree. And we got Amanda in the chat saying how much she thinks is garbage too. So it's not for everybody, but it was phenomenal for me. That was my number 2.
I've not seen Anora yet, so I'll hold judgment on that one.
Phenomenal.
But we'll see. All righty. All right, let's do number 1. I have a feeling.
Wait.
He's got to do his.
Oh, see, I'm so excited to get to number 1.
No, you're just trying to skip me all together. I see, D.
I didn't want you to fuck up the flow. But yeah, please, what's 5 through 2?
Can you guys hear me okay? I had to take out my microphone.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So the reason why I said me placing Dune in that spot, DX, and you give me the get the fuck out of here, is when you hear about what's in front of it. So that's the thing. I can't really say much about your Bob Dylan biopic, Frigginz. Like I saw it and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Saw the trailer and said, I will never watch that fucking movie.
Oh man, you're missing out. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen Bad Boys 3, so I haven't watched Bad Boys 4.
Oh, bro,
I gotta get on it.
I forgot that movie even came out. When you brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, that was this year.
Yeah,
it's fun though.
And DX, you are right about Fall Guy. Like Fall Guy probably should be my number 2, but for reasons is why I have my other movies here. But I can't agree more with you with everything you were saying about Fall Guy. So yes. But anyways, my number 5 is none other than Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Hell yeah.
When I took my kiddos to see this movie, I have never heard them laugh so hard. Like they were like straight, almost screaming, laughing. They were cracking up so hard at this movie. And towards the end of this movie, I don't know if you guys seen it, but like there's a fight scene between 2 CGI characters and it goes so hard. Like it goes so freaking hard. Like it doesn't have even like the one in the Matrix moments where it's like block it. Oh my gosh. It goes, I'm like, why the heck is a Sonic the Hedgehog movie going this hard? I don't know. And I loved it. Jim Carrey is probably like my favorite person in Hollywood. And he just completely kills it in this movie twice over.
Yeah.
And the dance scene that he does
on the button.
push the button. Like we have
Push the
watched
button.
that so many times, man. It is such a fun time. Like that will go down as probably our favorite like theatrical experience going together, and just that like coupled with the movie actually like hitting hard. And then my daughter just like screamed her brains out when at the end credit scene, like, oh my god. It was dope. I lived vicariously. I really enjoyed this movie through them. So that's my number 5.
When the big energy, whatever it's called, happens, I was like, oh, Peeps is gonna love this.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
My
daughter loved it as well. That was her number 2 of the year. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Love that movie.
My number 4 is was on DX's list. And it's A Quiet Place Day One. A movie I really wanted to do an episode on because I was so surprised on how hard this movie hit me, like on the emotional level. Like I'm thinking this is just going to be another survival horror movie, like running around, aliens coming and eating you. And of course was a lot of the movie, but like the majority of this movie was characters, and Frigginz likes talking about his small stories that only take place within like a day of just like a day in the life of a character. That's literally what this movie is. And it was just so beautiful with like, obviously with what she wants to accomplish and where she goes. And then she meets a character where like in any other movie, I feel like they would like force this like love story, but like it was just two people coming together and just being there for each other emotionally. It was just such a beautiful movie to the very end, man. I had like I had a lump in my throat throughout like the whole like last 10-15 minutes of that movie. It was just gorgeously, beautifully done. And then there's some awesome monsters in it and some jump scares. So like, just a fantastic movie. I can't recommend it enough if you like horror films, but if you just want to feel some emotions, oh my gosh, this movie is going to hit you. Friggin's dead inside. He was like, I laughed actually at the end. So
I did not say that, but it's good. It is good.
Yeah. My number 3 is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow. Get the fuck out.
You're not remembering.
He did the shit on purpose.
Exactly. Like you're.
I swear, a week ago we just discussed this.
He's just trying to be.
This is a movie I think that after I sit back and unpack everything, it's a movie that is only as amazing as it is if you have 20 years worth of knowledge like we do.
You have that.
Correct. I do have that. But I am giving credit. I am giving credit to my 1 and 2 more because you just need to pick up those movies, and I think you're going to have an amazing time with the 1 and 2. Versus this one, it sucks because I love sharing movies with friends, and every time I share this movie with people, I'm like, "Oh, so you've seen this, right?" And they're like, "No," and I'm like, "We gotta do homework." Okay. Like two or three different occasions I have done like a PowerPoint presentation for people on how they could enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine to its full extent. Like it is definitely fun. It is well written. It is the jokes are on point. It is a fantastic 5-star movie without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. Probably should have been my number 2, but yeah. Yeah, I've been juggling back and forth with my 2 and 3, but yeah, it's a fantastic movie. There's really nothing negative I can say about it outside of the only way to truly enjoy it is to have done tons of shut up, Frank.
I don't know
Not
how
true.
we're friends.
true.
I don't know how we're friends.
That's not true.
And my number 2, the you guys could probably assume is The Substance.
Oh my God.
This movie, I did see this movie in theaters. It was
Well,
it
it must
was
have
a
been nice.
doozy. It was a doozy, and the reactions of everybody in the theater, my reactions, just the oohs and ahs and uhs and like it was such an incredible experience. And this is a film that I love suggesting to people with a with a warning label. Like you will really either really love this movie or you will probably report me you know to the authorities for liking this movie. Like Friggin said, we recently did an episode specifically talking about The Substance and Honora. We kind of dive into what we love and hate about those movies. But I think this movie, The Substance, it really, oh man. Like, and like DX said, like the whole last 15-20 minutes, it just goes off the rails. I enjoyed it. I'm like, let's go even harder. Let's have everybody start turning into The Substance. Like, let's just go even harder. But alas, they do not. So
I would just like to point out that I think that you're suffering from recency bias, and that you saw The Substance more recently, and you forgot the joy that we experienced with the Deadpool and Wolverine. Secondly,
I
you
agree.
talk about it's hard to pass this movie or suggest this to friends because it's so like, oh, you're either gonna love this or hate it. I've not met one person that hasn't liked, at minimum, liked Deadpool. Now I will say they don't get everything, but that movie is still enjoyable despite the fact if you had not seen the homework. However, I think The Substance is going to get a lot more people that don't like it right off the bat with the first view. That's just my 2 cents. I
yeah,
love that you love.
you can poke at me, Friggins, but you just said how much you loved Hundreds of Beavers, yet somehow this Honora that you probably need to take like an STD test after just watching the movie, and how that is above that. So I don't get that.
No.
But like I said, I think I probably should have put Deadpool and Wolverine at 2. So I will. I did say.
You did say that. That's fair.
You also said you should have Fall Guy too, so you just keep flip flopping.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes the tops
Um,
do get a little tough.
Yeah. Well, me and Friggins will now talk about the real number one movie around here, and that is the true, which Peeps did agree up to a couple weeks ago, was this as well, and we were going to do this really cool uniform number one. Yeah, the whole team, even though we're so divisive on the other 10, we're going to come together. We're going to assemble their number one movie. But see, he tried to throw a curveball at the end and just say, fuck it, I'm going to put it at number 3 and shock the world. So, and then at the real number one,
It was a shot.
Deadpool and Wolverine. That
Hell
is
yeah.
the true number one movie of the year. This was a movie so long coming. We've been waiting to see what Deadpool was going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then, 2 years ago, we got that little commercial with Ryan Reynolds that came out and shocked us all, where he was like, I don't know what to do with the next Deadpool movie. I've been really banging my head against the wall. What should I do? And then Hugh Jackman walks by and he says, hey, you want to be Wolverine again? Sure, Ryan, why not?
Sure,
Right? And we're just off to the races, and we find out it is official. Not only are we getting Deadpool in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but that Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine. Rated R movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that he was coming back to reprise his role as Logan, which after Logan said, I would never do this role again. And here we were, and we got this amazing movie that is so well paced, so well directed, funny as shit. So many surprises, with obviously bringing together a lot of the Fox universe fucking people and Chris Evans as the Human Torch and all this kind of stuff. If you guys really want to hear us break this down, go check out our spoiler review. from back when the movie came out. It's a lot of fun. But man, this movie I have seen probably 10 times already since it came out. I bought it the day it hit digital. It is now on Disney Plus. I mean, I saw it 4 times in the theater. I took my daughter to see this. It was her first rated R movie, and my wife wasn't too thrilled
Same.
about it. I had to do it because I wanted
I
to
did
look
the
back
same.
on this and say, this was the first movie, and she loved it. And I took her a second time to see it. And when
That's
I
awesome.
asked her today, what was your favorite movie of the year? She instantly said Deadpool and Wolverine, and my heart
Yeah.
began to beat. So, like, I was so proud that was still her standout movie of the year. She had so much fun with it. I saw it in IMAX. I saw it in Prime. I saw it in 3D. I saw it in D-Box. I saw it in all these different formats, just exploring it across all the different methods. And it was just so damn good, man. I just had so much fun with this movie. And this is one that I will be revisiting multiple times over throughout the years. So good to see Jackman back as Wolverine. He's never been better. And Deadpool just, Ryan does this thing with this character that is just so incredible on all different levels. So this was a no-brainer. There was no thinking about it when I started to put my list together. It was an easy start at number 1 and work your way down. So Deadpool and Wolverine, number 1, right, Frigginz?
That's absolutely friggin' right. I also have this as number 1. It makes total sense. I wish I could get a time machine like Deadpool and then drag Peeps back to when we first watched this and all the joy and love that we had for this shared experience. We were at Comic-Con. We left the con, went straight to the theater, watched this movie with our buddy Steve, and it was such an experience. You talked about, we were all wondering what Deadpool was going to be in the MCU, and I think a big surprise to me in this one wasn't necessarily how much he was in the MCU, but rather the goodbye, the love letter, the saying goodbye to the Fox universe. It made me feel good about the Fox films that I sometimes would talk shit about. And it brought back all these memories and all these thoughts that, you know what? Now that I think about it, a lot of these things were actually really cool. It's not erasing some of the bad ones that were there, but it really gave some love to the ones that we did appreciate over these last 20 years or whatever it's been. So yeah, not only that, but you have the excellent intro with the bye bye bye, bringing back the song. I think that movie jumped in charts, or that song jumped in charts after that movie came out. And obviously having
if you play that song on Spotify, it literally says from Deadpool and Wolverine now.
That's funny.
They went back and retitled
Nice.
it, which is so funny that they did that.
I mean, it just rocked the world. It broke all kinds of records. It was, all the buzz when it came out, and I think rightfully so. Ryan Reynolds does an amazing job of not only portraying Deadpool, but finding ways to bring in all these other people to get cool cameos, introducing my favorite character, plus bringing some of my old favorites from some of those old ones. So it was just a true joyful experience, making me feel like a kid again. And how can that not be my number 1?
Yeah. How could it not? Right? Peeps, not be number 1. So please walk with the correct number 1 here.
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Frigginz knows. Frigginz knows.
I swear to God, you say that fucking beaver movie too? I swear to God.
Hundreds of Beavers is my number 1.
It's really good. It's really good.
My fucking God.
DX. So the reason why I put this at number 1 is I loved this movie so much. I actually set up 3 different watch parties for this movie to experience this movie with friends. And every single time, everybody loved it. And
I wouldn't know. I wasn't invited to this watch party. So 3 different ones, you said. 3 different ones.
When I come back down, we'll set one up and
know.
we'll watch it with you when I come back down.
Thanks, guys. Always lovely.
Oh, man.
Trying to get the reactions.
Yeah. I don't know. Like Frigginz said, this is a movie that it has pretty much 0 dialogue. There is an actual story that is going along with the movie. It has I think $150,000 budget. It's a super small like low budget film, but my God, it is so funny, and and things are happening in the movie, and you're thinking like, oh, that's silly, but then they actually they come back into play like later on in the movie, like, oh, this is a little foreshadowing and whatever, and I just think it was just it's a good time, and it is much easier for me to do a watch party with hundreds of beavers than it is for me to do with the substance or Deadpool and Wolverine. To be honest, I can do a watch party with you guys with Deadpool and Wolverine, but my comic book friends are very limited, especially nowadays. Comic book movies are dead. So yeah, I don't know. I don't disagree with you guys for having Deadpool and Wolverine where you have it. And you're right. I probably should have put it there. And friggin', yes, I definitely remember the good time that we had watching that movie, but three watch parties. I don't know. Plus my own experience going to our local theater, the Loft, and like them doing this whole introduction of the film and everybody in the audience just going nuts and clapping at multiple times of the movie. It was a good time. And that is why I have Hundreds of Beavers at my number one.
I could respect that. I mean, in the sense of like, you're not wrong. Everything you said about the movie is fantastic. And I had those same experiences. You know, we just like to give each other shit when I usually I'm the one that's getting the big get the fuck out of here. But you know, for tonight, I think you take that
He
trophy.
definitely took the record.
I'll take it.
But I just wanted to back you up in the sense of saying, like, I do agree with you about how phenomenal this film is, and it is definitely worth a watch. You just got to know that it's a little out there, it's a little different, but it's surprising. It's surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's a black and white film, zero dialogue. It feels like you're watching a Looney Tunes or those
It's horrible.
Tex Avery cartoons, but I think it works.
It does. It does. I agree.
All right, let's run down this top 10 again. Let's just do it real quick, just to run down your list. Number 10, I got Speak No Evil. Number 9, Alien Romulus. And number 8, Smile 2. Number 7, Twisters. Number 6, A Quiet Place Day 1. Number 5, The Substance. Number 4, Bad Boys Ride or Die. Number 3, Dune 2. Number 2, The Fall Guy. And number 1, Deadpool and Wolverine. Frigginz?
I got Twister at 10. 9 is Flow. 8 is Civil War. 7, The Bike Riders. 6, Ghostlight. 5, Hundreds of Beavers. 4, A Complete Unknown. 3, The Brutalist. 2, Anora. And number 1, Deadpool and Wolverine.
All right, Peeps.
On to you, Peeps.
Awesome. Number 10, I got Late Night with the Devil. Number 9, I got Piece by Piece. Number 8, Furiosa, Mad Max, A Fury Road. It's time for Furiosa. Number 7, I have Fall Guy. Number 6, I got Dune 2. 3, I got Sonic. 5, I got Sonic 3. 4, A Quiet Place, Day 1. Number 3, Deadpool and Wolverine. Number 2, The Substance, or Fall Guy, or Deadpool Wolverine. I don't know. And number 1, Hundreds of Beavers. Or Deadpool Wolverine. I don't know.
Yeah, depends on the day.
Yeah.
All right. So that is the top 10 of 2024. And now we switch gears on over and we look ahead. We put 2024 to bed and we look ahead. It is January. We are in the moment now and we're looking towards 2025. So it's time for top 10 most anticipated of 2025. Before we get into the top 10, as we do, honorable mentions, some movies that didn't quite scream in there, but, you know, hey, we're really looking forward to them. So in no particular order, once again, these are a couple that are on my list. I have Michael on my honorable mentions. It's the Michael Jackson biopic that is coming out later this year, directed by Anton Fuqua. I think it's going to be incredible. I love biopics, and Michael Jackson just so phenomenal, and I can't wait to see how this is portrayed on the big screen. My next one here is Wake Up Dead Man. This is the new Knives Out movie. This is Knives Out 3 that is coming out later this year. Looking forward to Daniel Craig being back as Benoit Blanc solving another crime. My next one is The Smashing Machine. This is a new true story that has The Rock playing Mark Kerr, a real UFC fighter. He was addicted to drugs. He was trying to get to the top of the UFC, and just with all his addictions and everything, the battle that he went through. This is when a lot of people are starting to say, could we see The Rock in the Oscars next year off this movie, man? This is going to be that contender kind of film. Emily Blunt is in this as well, directed by Benny Safdie. This is going to be a big, hardcore, true story that I'm looking forward to seeing how he pulls it off. Another one that I think is just going to be a lot of fun is Karate Kid Legends. We got Ralph
What?
Macchio joining up with Jackie Chan. They're coming together, bringing the Cobra Kai and the other reboot kind of together and teaching a new kid the ways of Mr. Miyagi and Miyagi-Do. So looking forward to that. There's a new Anaconda coming out in
I saw
December
that.
that's going to have Jack Black and Paul Rudd, and I'm sold just on that. I don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
Give me those two and a big ass snake, and I'm in. I'm going to throw out Mortal Kombat 2 because I'm just so excited to see what they're going to do with the second one. I think they're going to really ramp up the action, the fatalities. I think it's going to be awesome. And a classic that's coming back that is, we have not had one of these in many, many years, but it's making its return in 2025. It's another Final Destination. Final
Oh, wow.
Destination Bloodlines comes out this year, and I'm excited for that because I love all the Final Destination movies. So glad to see it making its return here. So those are just some honorable mentions that kind of hit my eye for this year. So Frigginz, what you got?
All right. Well, first off, I didn't realize there's a new Knives Out, so I'm actually very excited for that now. And I agree with you on the Anaconda. The idea of Jack Black and Paul Rudd trying to make a movie about an Anaconda movie and then encountering an Anaconda, it's freaking hilarious. It's meta. I can't wait. On my honorable mentions, I saw a trailer with Brad Pitt for a movie called F1. Recently kind of become a little bit of a fan of F1 racing. There's this really cool reality show on Netflix that just kind of got me into it. So that got me hyped for that. Tron Ares, I don't know what to expect of it yet without a trailer, but the Tron world is always very exciting and interesting. So I'm excited to see where that's going to happen or what's going to happen with that. We talked about Glenn Powell this last year, 2024. He's continuing into 2025 with The Running Man. It's an old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Apparently, this is going to be closer to the book than the movie, which I haven't read, but I'm excited to see what that's all about. There's a lot of hate for the new Snow White movie. I thought the trailer looked really cool. I'm very interested in it. A big fan of Rachel Ziegler. So I definitely want to check out this film and looking forward to it. The Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon, live action version of that. I don't care if I've seen that movie already. I want to see it in live action. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
And it looks cool. And the last honorable mention I'll throw out there is I saw this trailer for a film called The Amateur. Kind of a spy thriller, trying to get revenge. Oh man, that trailer had me hooked from the get-go. I was tempted to put this in my top 5. I was so into it, but then I broke down the list, and there's quite a few good movies coming out good-looking movies.
Rami Malek, man, yeah, that one looks pretty good.
Malek is great, yeah. But that's my honorable mentions.
Love it. Very good, very good. Peeps, what you got?
I didn't know about. I saw that Anaconda movie. I had no idea who was in it. Now I'm actually intrigued for that. So,
yeah, looks good. Sounds
I'm
good.
definitely all in. Also, I didn't know that there was a sequel to the Knives Out movie coming out either. So yeah, definitely, I love those. The other two, that one as well. There is a Smurfs movie that's announced that has Chris Miller behind it, and Chris Miller, every animated movie he's attached to, I actually love. So, not. Smurfs is my childhood, whatever, but I'm kind of interested. 28 years later, pretty big fan of the first two. I love zombie films, so I can't wait to see what else they're doing with it. The Naked Gun, apparently they're doing a Naked Gun movie, and I just love all the old Naked Guns, so I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing with the new one. Apparently there's a Predator movie coming out. This should be in my top 10, but I don't know.
It's hard when you haven't seen anything.
Gotta see some on that, yeah.
Exactly.
It's hard.
And honorable mention, but there's a Now You See Me 3 coming out, and I was a pretty big fan of the first two, so not seeing anything on it, I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with that. It could be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
No, I think that sounds good too. Without seeing anything for it, Yeah, that's always the hard part, talking anticipated. You see some titles, you hear who's in it, and you're like, I'm hoping for the best. I'll add it to the list, right? But you don't really know what you're gonna get. So,
I'm always
Yeah.
surprised when
so
like the movie, like half the movies in my top 10 most anticipated don't even make my top 10.
right, exactly. You just never know, man. We got to see how it rolls out. So, all right, that's anticipated honorable mentions. Let's switch and get into our top 10. We'll do it the same way, go 10 through 6, and then we'll circle back around. So, coming in number 10 for me is The Accountant 2. I
Okay.
love that first movie with Ben Affleck.
Heck yeah.
John Bernthal's in there as well too. Just an awesome movie. Such a cool kind of style that they did with what his skills were. Very a little John Wickish, but being the accountant and kind of having this side kind of gig. And I always had hoped we get a sequel to this movie and didn't really ever think we would. And it is shot, it is done, it is coming out this year. Everybody's back, and I just have a feeling it's going to be pretty damn badass. So I got The Accountant 2 at number 10. Coming in number 9, Frigginz mentioned it on his honorable mentions, but I'm going to put Tron Ares at number 9. I also love the Tron movies, and I feel like they're kind of doing a reverse Jumanji here with Tron.
Ooh.
Tron Ares is going to be the Tron world coming into our world and kind of flipping it, So those people are coming out and bringing that technology into our real world, which is
Okay.
going to be a cool kind of way of kind of going into it off the grid. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to be pretty damn tight.
That makes me want to watch
Coming
it
in
more
number
now.
right? It's
Yeah, that
unique.
sounds
That's why
cool.
they got to do something different with it. So the stills I've seen from it look awesome, and it's got Nine Inch Nails doing the soundtrack. So I think it's going to be pretty banging, man. So I'm looking forward to that. Coming in number 8, I got Jurassic World Rebirth. Just a sucker for these Jurassic movies, man. I just love them. This is not a kind of a continuation of the Chris Pratt ones, but we're doing something different. We got Scarlett Johansson in here now leading this new crew. And I'm just curious to see where the world takes us, man. Where are we going to do? You've got the original writer from the original Jurassic Park movies coming back and doing this one. And I just have a feeling this is going to be a really, really good movie, man. I'm excited for this one. So Jurassic World Rebirth at number 8. Number 7, I actually had this on my anticipated list last year, but the movie got bumped. So it got bumped to my list this year, and that is Ballerina.
Propaganda.
So so we got Ballerina here, of course, from the world of John Wick. This is the spinoff with Ana de Armas, where she is just whooping ass. That trailer is incredible. And this takes place between John Wick 3 and 4 on the timeline. And I love Ana de Armas. I love the world of John Wick, and I can't wait to see her kick some ass. So even though I was anticipating it in 2024, I'm really anticipating it now in 2025. So it hits number 7. And coming in at number 6 to wrap up the first portion here, it's going to be Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I love the Mission Impossible films. Dead Reckoning was incredible. I saw it 2 times in the theater. We've been waiting for this part 2. It was also supposed to come out last year in 2024. It got bumped because of COVID and everything that was going on. Everything got delayed. The strikes, all that stuff that kind of got in the way. But it's coming now. We got a trailer out for it. It looks incredible. Kind of positioning this one up to be the last one, maybe, especially with that title, The Final Reckoning. So I'm excited to see where Ethan Hunt takes us on this one. A lot of running from Tom Cruise once again, and we're doing our thing. So I'm excited, man. I know it's going to be awesome. So that comes in at number 6 for me. So Frigginz, what you got? 10 through 6.
Actually, 2 of mine match exactly 2 of yours. So that's kind of nice to see. I love it when we match. My
Yes.
number 10 is Sinners. That film starring Michael B. Jordan has an amazing trailer. I'm absolutely interested and hooked. Like I said, 2024 was the year of horror films for me, really pulling me into that genre, and a genre that I've always disliked. This one is just looks not only like creepy and giving those thriller vibes, but also just badass. Like Michael B. Jordan obviously is badass, and he looks super cool shooting that machine gun. Can't wait to see what's going on with that. My number 9 is Jurassic World. Like what you said, basically everything you said. The only thing I'll add is that it is rated R. I don't know. Maybe you said that. I don't remember.
No, it's not rated R.
I heard it was going to be rated R, super heavy
rated.
on the gore and the violence. And if it's not, then it might actually push it out of my top 10. I've read a bunch of stuff that was saying it was.
No, you did not hear that on Am I on the Air? Just like
that's true.
that,
I did not hear
that means
it
the
there.
news is not legit.
I'm gonna go with
no,
the
there's
rumor
no way,
for
bro. It's
now.
too big of a franchise. It's too big of a franchise. There's money to be missed here. Those movies all made $1 billion at PG-13. You think they're gonna risk putting an R rating
Yes,
on this
because
bitch?
I think they
There's
saw what
no way.
Deadpool did, and they're like, we're gonna make this
There's no
gory
way.
and scary. Nonetheless, I'm looking forward to more of a scarier Jurassic Park, and kind of getting back to some of that like horror element to it with these scary dinosaurs. My number 7, no 8. Sorry, I keep messing up the count going backwards. My number 8 is Thunderbolts. I think the trailer looks phenomenal. I'm very excited for this film. It's kind of got that like, spy group kind of. Obviously, they still have the superpowers, but I love that they're holding back on a big twist that I think we're going to see on the trailer.
Asterix.
Yeah, the asterisk. Yeah, I don't know what that is all about. I hope it really sticks with the name Thunderbolts because I really do like that. I mean, it looks fun. It looks exciting. It's a cool trailer, but at the same time, it doesn't look game changing. It doesn't look like it's gonna, totally rock my socks off. But I am very thrilled for it. And that means my last 2 match yours, Don, with Ballerina at 7 and Mission Impossible at 6. Ballerina was also on my list last year. Obviously, it getting pushed back. I think I would have had it a little higher on my list. But after the trailer came out, I will say, although I agree with you, it does look badass. I was very disappointed in a lot of the like origin story aspects that were in the trailer, and I don't think I necessarily needed all that. Like John Wick didn't give us an origin story; we just got thrown into the world. So I think that is a negative in it and bothered me some. And also they show something at the end of the trailer that definitely should have just been held. But I know they're trying to get people to come into the theater and watch it. But seeing that, I was like, that's a huge spoiler. Like that would have been such a cool experience to not see it in a trailer. But nonetheless, very excited for it. And of course, Tom Cruise running, doing crazy stunts. It's funny that this is the last one, and we're should be really excited to see the conclusion. But the last movie had such a better trailer with the jump off the motorcycle, off the hill, and everything, and just giving so much more excitement. I felt almost a little less excited for this final reckoning, but nonetheless, I love these movies. It's one of my favorite franchises, and I'm excited to see possibly the last one.
We'll see. We will see. All right, peeps, what you got? 10 through 6.
What was your number 7, Fred?
That was the Ballerina.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 10 is Zootopia 2.
Heck yeah, that's gonna be great. I should have had that on my honorable mention.
Here we go.
I like Zootopia 1,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to take my kids to see Zootopia 2. Number 9 is the How to Train Your Dragon movie. I thought the original films are amazing, and the fact that the original director of the animated movies is coming in to make these movies, I think is really cool. And I've seen like behind the scenes on all the practical effects that they're using for this movie. Of course, there's going to be tons of CGI dragons flying and shooting fire, but they have massive animatronic dragons that they're using for this film amazing as well, which I always appreciate and look forward to. So that's my number 9.
What about Gerard Butler coming in as the dad, reprising his
role?
Yeah,
the Gerard Butler reprising his role as the dad. It's almost as cool as Maui coming back, or The Rock coming back as Maui. So, yeah.
No. You're welcome.
Number 8 is Mathregan 2. Megan 2. So I absolutely love the first Megan, and I can't wait to see the next one. Megan 2.0, I think it is. So yeah.
2.0. I'll tell you, peeps, I don't think I would have watched the first one except for your review got me interested in it. So
yeah. You're welcome. Number 7, maybe you can get the fuck out of here moment, but number 7 is Superman. It's this low on my list because I'm just not that guy for DC. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But the thing is that I will admit, as shady as I am with DC, that trailer did look pretty. Not just pretty. That trailer was incredible. I will give all the props and shout outs to that. But I'm just not excited. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I don't even know when it's coming out. Is it summer? Is it December? I don't know.
Comic-Con. We got
July 11th.
Oh, not quite
No,
Comic-Con.
we're not going to that.
This is before. I think Fantastic Four is Comic-Con. Sorry.
Okay. Well, let me know when you go, DX. And my number 6 is The Running Man. I love the original The Running Man, and the fact that Edgar Wright is going to be at the helm of this one, I'm like win-win. So that's that. I'm really excited and kind of intrigued for this movie. I mean, he did such an amazing job with like Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim that I really want to see what he's going to do with this crazy futuristic. Isn't Running Man already take place in today's past? Wasn't it like 2000 like 10 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, and that's my top 6. Woo!
All right, let's get into that top 5, baby. Coming in at number 5 for me is Captain America: Brave New World. Looking really forward to this one. We're finally getting multiple Marvel movies this year. We only got one in 2024 with Deadpool and Wolverine, but we're back to 3 movies this year, which is awesome. Anthony Mackie, of course, officially taking over the role as Captain America, and you got Harrison Ford jumping in here as Thunderbolt Ross and the Red Hulk up in here. So going to be great stuff. It looks awesome. It looks very Winter Soldier. It looks like that just old school thriller espionage kind of stuff going on, and it looks like a ton of fun. So I can't wait. Already got my tickets for the IMAX opening night. Let's roll. That's at number 5. Coming in at number 4, I'm gonna keep it in the Marvel world. It is Fantastic Four. Coming in at number 4. Oh, I didn't even plan that. Look at that. Fantastic Four at number 4.
Lower than I thought.
Okay. So, or AKA First Steps, I think they added to it, which is stupid as hell. But looking forward to this, man. I think the cast is incredible. I'm looking forward to the fact that this is kind of they're in another universe in this movie. They are not in our 616. To see kind of what this retro 60s futuristic vibe is of their world and how they come into our world by the end of this movie to kind of set up for Doomsday, with, of course, Robert Downey Jr. being Doom, and how they kind of blend these universes. My guess here, because they do have Galactus, is that their universe will be 8 by the end of the damn movie, and they will jump ship to the 616. So we'll see how it plays out. But I'm looking forward to it. Again, we don't have anything to go off of other than some set photos that have dropped here and there. The rumor is that the first trailer or teaser at least will drop on the Super Bowl. So hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll get that. So that comes in at number 4. Number 3 for me is Thunderbolts. I think Thunderbolts looks awesome. So out of the 3 Marvel movies this year, I'm actually most excited for Thunderbolts because it just looks like such a fun like group outing, man. Like when you watch that trailer, I just have a blast with it. Like having all those characters, Yelena and Red Guardian and Winter Soldier and Ghost and just everybody coming together and doing kind of a Suicide Squad kind of thing. I love it, man. It just looks good, like it just looks like it's going to be fun. It looks like it's going to have great dynamics between everybody. I mean, is it a game changer kind of movie? Probably not, but I'm just, it just looks like a blast in the theater, and that's what got me excited for it. So I'm gonna have Thunderbolts there at number 3. And then my number 2, this was hard, man, because this would have been number 1 pretty much in any other year, but it is Avatar: Fire and Ash. I have it number 2. I love the Avatar movies. Avatar 1 is one of my all-time favorite films. Finally, like 13 years later, we got Avatar: The Way of Water a couple years ago, which also was incredible, and they're the top 2 biggest movies of all time. I saw Avatar: The Way of Water like 4 or 5 times in the theater when that one came out. I just love what James Cameron does with this. I am intrigued into this world of the Na'vi, and I'm looking forward to this third one having the fire people, and there's like these air nomadic kind of people that fly around in the air, and that's going to be cool, just seeing new tribes and new things that they bring to this story. So I got Avatar: Fire and Ash at number 2. So I'm gonna stop there, and we'll all circle around our number 1s like we did for our tops. But yeah, Frigginz, what you got 5 through 2?
I actually forgot Avatar was this coming year. Still wouldn't have made my list. I love the first one like you do. I love the first one like you do, but the second one kind of lost me a little bit. It's still good, but nonetheless, back to my list. Number 5, I match you as well, Don, with Captain America. So that one looks very interesting, very intriguing. Again, the spy thriller kind of vibe. Obviously Winter Soldier is one of the best Marvel movies that's been made, and I feel like this is kind of getting back to those roots. But with watching the trailer, I really enjoy finally seeing the big hand of the Celestial sticking out of the water. So I'm glad also to hear there's the shield. That's what I was waiting for. I saw you turn around. I was like, he's going to get the shield. Hell yeah.
So I got to get it. I got to get it.
So very stoked for that. And I match you on that number 5. My number 4 was a little lower on your list earlier, Don. And that's The Accountant number 2. The Accountant, the first one, is one of my favorite movies. Every time I watch it, I go, man, I forgot how much I really like this movie. And it brings me a lot of joy rewatching that movie over and over. And I don't know why. I always kind of forget it, and then I watch it again, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty freaking amazing. My number 3 is on your honorable mentions list, Don, and that was Mortal Kombat 2. You guys know me as being a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I went bonkers over that first movie. I thought it was phenomenal. I cannot wait to see this movie. And then you add in Carl Urban to the cast. And while I don't necessarily see him as a Johnny Cage, I still think he's awesome. And I can't wait to see what they do with him in this role. But more so than anything, I just want to see some more Scorpion, some more Sub-Zero. But bring me all the Mortal Kombats. Let's go. And keep it rated R, please. Thank you. Number 2 is the Fantastic Four. The rest of the subtitle that I don't care. That's right. I have seen a little bit of footage that they've revealed. I know, I wasn't in the Comic-Con showing where I got to see it live, but they later leaked online or whatever. I saw some clips showed something. I can't remember what it was. But obviously I haven't seen a lot. They didn't have much to show at the time, more like concept stuff. And it has me intrigued. I'm a big comic book fan, but I've never really cared for the Fantastic Four all that much. That being said, this cast is what's won me over. Pedro Pascal specifically, Vanessa Kirby, everybody that is in this so far has been great. The only one that I'm iffy about is Robert Downey Jr., but we'll see. I'm sure he's going to be wonderful. But yeah, so that's my number 2.
All right. Nice. All right, Peeps, what you got? 5 through 2. We can't hear you.
I think you're on mute.
Hey,
there he is.
There it is.
Yeah. So my number 5 is Avatar 3. Their Fire and Ash. Is that what it is? Yeah. I disagree with Frigginz. The first Avatar blew me away. Second Avatar was just beautiful on a completely different level. I don't know. But like we say, I don't really. It's hard to say how excited I am without actually seeing anything. But it's Avatar, right? So it's got the same director, same people coming back. It's got to be good, right?
Right.
So number 4 is Mission Impossible. What was it? Dead Reckoning? Mission Impossible 8? Final Reckoning?
Final Reckoning.
Yeah. I will say that I have not been that big of a Mission Impossible fan up until the last movie. The last movie just blew me away. And because of that, I cannot wait to see how this story wraps up. So that's why it's even on my list. It normally wouldn't be. So pretty excited for it. My number 3 is Captain America, Brave New World, or Captain America. What was the other one? New World Order.
Brave and the Bull, or
yeah. I mean, I am actually I am kind of looking forward to this, like you guys said, like a bit of a spy. But I mean, I think that's what they're going with Thunderbolts as well. But With the Captain America, I'm a big Hulk fan, and we're finally getting General Ross as Red Hulk. I can't wait to see what they do with this character. I don't think he's the main villain. I mean, I know for a fact he's not the main villain, but he's Red Hulk. Like, how is Red Hulk going to be in the movie and not be a major part of the plot? I don't know. Obviously, he is. I can't wait to see how the leader kind of bleeds into this as well. And yeah, so definitely looking forward to this movie, but not as much as my number 2, which is the Fantastic Four film. I mean, Pedro Pascal, like you guys were saying too, like with the cast. And I did see the little I don't know, teaser, I guess, that they had of this film at Comic-Con that got later linked to DX. I think you said you saw it.
Yeah.
It just
It was just
hopefully
concept art stuff though, because they hadn't even started filming. So
exactly, yeah. They're just like, just standing in front of the film, the camera. Just, hey, this is me. I'm stretchy. No. So it just looks like a lot of fun. That like you said, DX, that 60s futuristic, the world of tomorrow is today. That looks like a lot of fun. They got the flying car. I don't know is the robot Robbie or whatever going to be in it? I don't know who's voicing him, but I don't know. Anyway, it looks great. Galactus looks great. I can't wait to see how they tie it into everything else. And yeah, so definitely looking forward to that. Nothing new that you guys haven't already said. So, and that's my number 2.
I think you should go first with your number 1 because what the heck? Just my 2 cents.
fair enough. I think me and Frigginz might have the same one. So.
I do too. Yeah. Well, my number 1 is Thunderbolts. So I think this movie has a lot of side characters that I have loved in the Marvel movies. I think just the Red Guardian alone is great, and I love Yelena. I've been wanting more of Ghost. I hope they do something fun and interesting with Taskmaster. I mean, we're getting Bucky back. Whatever the heck they're going to be doing with the Sentry.
I think so too.
What?
I think Taskmaster's the gonna bite it.
She's the expendable one. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that as well.
What's that trailer? She's only in one scene.
It's because they edited her out, just like they did with the Avengers Infinity War trailer with the Hulk running, at everybody. So I don't know. Right. But anyways, I think this would be a lot of fun. Like Frigginz said, what's the asterisk? It's probably not going to be anything incredible, but I'm looking forward to the potential that it could be. And I don't know, man. I think a Deadpool cameo in this would be really good too. I mean, a Thunderbolts team and have Deadpool kind of pop up for a minute. I don't know. It'd be fun, but I don't think it's going to happen. But that's my most anticipated movie of this year.
All right.
Nice. Well, it's the highest ranked Marvel one for you, like me, so that's kind of cool. So I like that out of the 3 movies that we're looking forward to Thunderbolts the most. It just looks like a ton of fun. Maybe it'll change my mind once I see something from Fantastic Four, but yeah, Thunderbolts looks fun. All right. Well, the true number 1 most anticipated movie of the year. Look up, guys, because it is time for Superman. That's right. James Gunn is here. He is heading up the new DC universe. DC Studios is now up and running. He is relaunching the whole new DC world. And Superman is the first movie to kick off this universe. Of course, everything being rebooted, all new stars. As much as I love my boy Henry Cavill and I love Man of Steel, one of my favorite all-time movies, I was very sad to see him not get a chance to continue on. I'm looking forward to a new version of Superman. Superman is my all-time favorite superhero. So anytime there's anything Superman, I'm super stoked. I know James Gunn is going to take great care of this character. I know how much he believes in this character and what this character means to him. He is an ultimate DC fanboy growing up, and he loves Superman to death, and I know he will translate that to the big screen. We have David Cornsweet here taking on the role. of Superman, Clark Kent. I don't know, man. All I have to go off of for him is the douchebag role from Twisters,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and he was good in Twisters, but I'm like, I couldn't really see him as Superman. But
Yep.
that trailer gives me hope, right? And that's what the trailer is supposed to do. That trailer gave me goosebumps. It brought tears to my eyes. It's just the music, the electric guitar of the old school Superman theme, the "Take Me Home," and Crypto, and just the slow motion, and seeing that we're in a world that has superheroes already in it. We have a Green Lantern, we have Hawkgirl, we have all these different things going on. Lex Luthor is there. That we're not doing an origin story again. We're jumping right into a world that has had a Superman and has had all these other superheroes going on.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that we're not wasting that time and we're just jumping right into this universe as is. And that trailer just hit me from all directions, and it
Yep.
was already going to be pretty much my most anticipated. I mean,
Sure.
I battled a little bit with Avatar, but after that trailer there was just no going back. It's so good, and I can't wait to see a little bit more of the story, see some dialogue, because of course that trailer is more just visual heavy. I do want to hear more. I do want to see kind of what the story takes us. But I'm excited, man. I mean, I think everybody is playing a good character here. I think the casting is spot on. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane is incredible casting. I'm hoping David does a great job. I've heard nothing but him being hyped up from everybody else on this movie about how great he is. Nicholas Hoult is Lex Luthor. I mean, it just has everything that I would hope for. And my fingers are crossed that this movie's going to just knock it out the park come this July. So, no doubt, this is the number one most anticipated film of 2025. Right, Frigginz?
That's friggin' right. I agree with you on the number one spot yet again. I mean, I know Superman's your boy, so I was like kind of expecting that from you. Whereas I'm a Batman fan. I'm the Batman is always that's my guy. But I think Peeps mentioned not being like a DC guy, not having as much excitement for it. And I fell into that trap as well with Superman specifically, because again, I'm a Batman guy. I love all the Batman stuff, but not so much Superman guy. And when this trailer hit, I was even contemplating like, I'll just wait. Maybe I'll see it in the theater. But everyone's buzzing about it. So I run home. I cranked up my surround sound. I got a big ass TV, and holy shit, like you described, goosebumps, tears, emotions, seeing Crypto. I thought it was when I heard they were going to put Crypto in it, I was like, that's so dumb. But then it was amazing seeing Crypto in there. And he's one of the he stole the show of the trailer. I mean, everyone's talking about Crypto, right? And all the other people look fantastic in their roles. James Gunn clearly cares about this universe and is really putting a lot of effort into it, as we expected after what he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't know, man. To me, it's just got all the feelings that I used to have watching the old Superman the movie back when I was a kid, and emphasize it even more. And I just cannot wait now. Today, actually, as the day that we're recording this, James Gunn had released a new trailer. It's a very short one that shows mostly the same new things as the first one, but it does add some additional flying motions of Superman. So we get to see Superman doing like flying around, and it looks really freaking good. And it just really, really added to that excitement for me. But yeah, after that first trailer, there's no going back. This one bumped up to my most anticipated movie. And I am very excited and have a lot of hope that the Superman movie is going to be great. And that's kind of the point of Superman, is to give us hope. And so that's what I'm looking forward to this year.
It's not an S.
Not an S. It is all about that hope, man, and we hope it's going to be a killer movie coming in number 1. So let's recap again as we do. Coming in number 10 for me is The Accountant 2. Number 9 is Tron Ares. Number 8 is Jurassic World Rebirth. Number 7 is Ballerina from the world of John Wick. Number 6 is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. The Final Reckoning. Number 5 is Captain America Brave New World. Number 4, Fantastic Four First Steps. Number 3, Thunderbolts. Number 2, Avatar Fire and Ash. And number 1, Superman. Frigginz?
All right, I got on number 10, Sinners. Number 9, Jurassic World. Number 8, Thunderbolts. Number 7, Ballerina. Number 6, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. Number 5, Captain America: Brave New World. Number 4, The Accountant number 2. Number 3, Mortal Kombat 2. Number 2, Fantastic Four, Something About Steps. And number 1, Superman.
Yes, sir. Peeps, what's your top 10?
I got number 10, Zootopia 2. Number 9, How to Train Your Dragon live action movie. Number 8, Megan 2.0. Number 7, Superman. Number 6, The Running Man. Number 5, Avatar: Fire and Ash. Number 4 is Mission Impossible: We Gonna Reckon. You Gonna Get Reckoned. Number 3 is Captain America: Brave New World. Number 2, Fantastic Four, Fred's title. And number 1 is Thunderbolts, asterisk.
Thunderbolts, asterisk. All right, guys, that is our top 10 of 2024 and our top 10 most anticipated of 2025. That's how it goes down. We'll be back again in about a year to see how did it all play out, what stuck, what didn't stick, what surprised us, and what let us down as we kind of do this again each and every year. But always fun to recap and look ahead for the year and see what's coming down that pipe. So let's do a quick plugs and we'll get on out of here. So Frigginz, tell the people where they could find you.
First, I will mention I like your idea about the biggest disappointment. Maybe next year we can add in what was the biggest disappointment for you for the year. So let's remember that. But you can find me on Instagram, and that's at Frigginz, Frigginz, Frigginz with a Z. I also had started a YouTube, which my friggin' YouTube. However, I kind of got a little lazy posting my movie reviews on that. So just stick with the Frigginz for now. Hopefully I'll get back to the YouTube soon. But on that Instagram, that's where you can find me. And of course, here on Red Dragons Radio, and when I get invited to join these lovely faces.
There you go. Peeps, tell them.
Yo, the People's Forum, just a little podcast I have talking about literally what we're doing right now. I love movies. For My Peoples on the Twitters, number 4, My Peoples on Twitter. Also have Instagram, the People's Forum. Don't use it as much as Frigginz, but it does exist. It is a thing. But like I said, Frigginz and I, we just talked about The Substance and Nora. Also, I threw a little episode out there on the Arcane series that I absolutely love. So if that's your cup of tea, check me out.
There you go. Love it. And you can, of course, follow me directly at DONMEGA and also at Am I on the Air, which is the show, the weekly podcast bringing you the latest and greatest in entertainment news and television, movies, and non-spoiler reviews is right there on Am I on the Air each and every week. You can follow there on X and on Threads and all your favorite social medias there. Follow along on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. We're on everything. Just search Am I on the Air? All one word. Everything else scrolling there on the bottom. So thank you to Frigginz and to Peeps for joining me as always, man. This is so much fun. Love going through these movies, and make sure you tune in everywhere where you could find us, and of course for the regular show each and every Tuesday night. So we will see you on the next round trip. So take care, y'all. Deuces.